Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, gonna do something a little different. For everyone who knows me, they know that I really love pinball. In fact, I used to restore and repair pinball machines for folks, and I'm not doing that anymore now. I've kind of retired from it, but I do work on specific games here and there. I have one I'm working on right now for my brother-in-law, and pinball has always just been a really cool thing for me. I love the physical science behind it, the geometry of everything, just how everything works. And, being a kid of the 70s and 80s, I grew up with, in arcades, playing video games and pinballs. And as much as I love video games, believe me, I have a few of my own. As much as I love video games and playing video games, old school, I will say, old school video games like you would do at the arcade, not what we have today, but old school video games and pinball. The difference for me was always the video games. There was an organization to it, and if you did the right thing every time, you always got the same result for the most part, give or take. Even with, say, Pac-Man, if you remembered the path that the ghosts took in Pac-Man, you could avoid them and you could get to the next level. However, with pinball, what I always found really fascinating was even if you try to hit that ball exactly the same way as you did the previous time, it could go anywhere. It could do something totally different based on how you nudge the game or just the exact timing of where the flipper hits the ball or if there's a spin on the ball. It's just really cool stuff for me, and I really enjoy it. So for Christmas, my wife got me this build-your-own pinball machine kit, and it's a learning kind of thing. It's designed, for kids, I think 8+, but something I'm really been looking forward to doing. And I thought I would do it on the channel because, pinball's cool. And this is technically a model kit. And so this kit comes with a 48-page book, has 84 pieces, elastic bands, a ball, and 4 rubber feet. And you open it up here, and we've got this nice little packaging here. We're going to open up here in a minute. On the back, we have more information about it. Build and play your very own pinball machine, then learn about the scientific principles of gravity, force, and acceleration. With a book packed with explanations and experiments, plus your very own working pinball game. This is a fun, informative package for building scientists and game fans everywhere. Yeah, this is really cool. This is from QEB Publishing, Inc., which I've never heard of, but I'm sure that they do other things as well. Okay, so before I get this opened up, I just want to say for all of my current viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for tuning into the channel and subscribing and helping out the channel. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys so much. And if this is your first time tuning in, hey, welcome, and thanks for stopping by. Also, if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button down below. It helps out the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. All right, so let's get this opened up and take a look at what's inside. Okay, first up, we have this really nice book that comes with your pinball kit. Very nicely done. It's a large format book, which is kind of cool. It's easy to read. So you're going to go through your contents here. Let's get making, the science behind pinball, movement and mass, get the ball rolling, and so on. So it really goes into a lot of scientific principles here, which is really cool. Here we have our parts layout, some instructions for how you're going to be following along and building your parts as you go. And then we have your instructions. So it's pretty in-depth. It doesn't look too complicated, so it should go together pretty easily. And then it goes and talks about the science behind pinball, how the funnel works, the wheels, the bumpers, everything like that. And then it goes into some really cool scientific principles and some little mini projects you can do. This one talks about gravity, spring forces. This one talks about curve forces and centrifugal force and how that works. Another little experiment here you can do with a bucket of water, which we used to do when we were kids. This is how an escapement works, which goes into clockworks even. Wow, this is really a cool book. This is one of my favorites here. You can make your own electrical magnet with a 1.5 volt battery, copper wire, an iron nail, and sticky tape and scissors. You can wrap the wire around the nail, attach it to a battery, and it'll magnetize it, and you can actually play with that. Here's one with an electrical circuit. Yeah, this is like a really cool book. All right, so that's what's in the book. Here are our parts. We've got a little ball. It's not a metal ball. It looks just like a marble. Some red rubber bands and some 3M sticky feet. So these are, I think these are just paper. And these are thick paper. These are our parts. All right, and then we have some much thicker, heavier cardboard type paper units here with all the punch outs, and this is our play field. Some more parts in the thicker material. And then the last piece of parts with a lot of thicker material here. And that's everything that's in the box. So I'm going to hit the instructions, and I think we're going to start putting this together. So let's get to the build. Okay, so just a quick update here. What I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and remove all the little parts that free up the slits in the board. And I found it's easier to just take a toothpick and just gently push them out. And that breaks them free really easily. And this way we can get all of these out, and then we can just assemble our parts as we go. All right, and just like that, the board is clear. We've got, oops, we missed one there. We've got all of our tab openings ready to go. And we've got a big pile of tabs here. All right, so back to the build. I've got the ramp and the funnel assembly in. I will say this part here is pretty finicky, and it'll take some patience. I'm also hampered a bit because I have these huge sausage fingers and hands. So getting in there and getting those tabs in place, it can be a little challenging. You just got to be patient and try not to rip anything. All right, back to the build. Okay, so this part, I stopped recording. I didn't realize I was stopped recording, but this part, you connect these two pieces together and then these slot in at the bottom of the board here. And this one here slots into the same slot as the one we used for the little funnel. All right, so again, so far so good. Like I said, it'd be easier with smaller fingers, but so far so good. So let's get back to the build. So now we bring this is our box that all of our pieces came in. We're going to slip this through here. We're going to put these two together, slip them through these. Okay, and then we're going to use this part to kind of lock it in place. All right, so now we have part of our first flipper assembly. Okay, so I assembled the other matching mechanism, and they are both in the box now. And there's two holes in the bottom of the box, and even though the instructions haven't told us yet, I'm sure that's where that is going so that it can actuate. Pretty cool. One step I missed. I need to put our spinners in the play field, and to do that you just stick them through there, and then you slide this lock in, and that's it, and that one's in place, and we'll do the same for the other one. So this one's going to go right here. Put it in there, hold it, put our lock through. All right, and now our spinners are on the play field. Okay, there is a little tab here that you've got to remove the little paper for. If you don't do that before you try to put this in, it's not going to fit right. So we just lay this down on here. There's also a tab on this end you need to remove as well. So sit those in there like that. All right. And these this way. And this one this way. And those just sit under the playfield. Drop our playfield in. Like so, and then you gotta kind of move your flipper units around here so that they go in the holes there. There's that one. Whoop, almost had it. There we go. All right, and this goes in the slot here. This one goes in the slot. There's nothing goes in this slot yet. This is for the plunger, but you want to make sure this one gets in there nice and tight. It doesn't fit very well on the side here, but that's okay. All right, on to the next step and back to the build. Okay, when you're assembling your flippers, on this piece you've got a long end and a short end. You want to make sure that the long end is facing up. And like that, and there we have our flippers. All right. Let's move on to the next step. All right, here we go. We have the completed pinball machine that we just built. And it's pretty cool, I have to say. All right, so it is a little challenging, so I would say if for an 8-year-old this is going to be a challenge, going to definitely need to have some help from an adult on this one. Also, there's no tools or anything required or glue, but you could definitely use some glue or some cutters. I did use the toothpick method to keep popping all the little inserts out of the cardboard parts. This flipper here works pretty good. This one on this side, not so much. The launcher here, I will say, this little part number 31 here that the launcher actually goes through, you've got to kind of open that up some. Just out of the box, it's too tight. The plunger won't plunge, but you definitely need it to go through that for stability. Also, they give you some stickers to put around the corners to make it a little stiffer. I put one here because this area here was kind of bowed out a little bit on mine. One thing they do not cover in the instructions, though, they don't tell you when to install the rubber bands on the flippers and the side bumpers. They do tell you to install the rubbers on the pop bumpers, which is fine, but you need to install rubber bands on the flippers and these side bumpers here. Also, for the launcher, you've got this little tab on the back. You just fold that up, put a rubber band around, and then that gives you your launcher action. Also, they supply you with these little 3M nubs. They don't tell you that in the instructions, but you just stick them to the bottom of the box to keep it from sliding around. All right, so I'm going to put my ball in here. I'm going to launch it, and up it goes. And just like a normal pinball machine, you got to kind of move it around. Let's see if I can bump it around here and whoop. Okay, well, I drained that ball pretty quick. All right, so it is just like a real pinball game. All right, let's try that again. Okay, and you just... Okay, come on, come on. Try to get up that ramp if I can. I made it up the ramp earlier. There, oh, almost up the ramp. Come on. Oh, whoa, over the top. Okay, well, let's try that again. Okay, let's go. Come on down, come on down. Hey, we got it in the little cyclone thing there. All right. This would be really good, kind of like to do with your kids after school one day or on a weekend. It took me about an hour and a half to get it all put together. I just suggest you read through the instructions a couple times, make sure you know what your next steps are. All right. Another thing this kit would be good for is if you have a young person who wants to get into building models, this does go over the basics of that, of, you know, following instructions, locating the parts, taking the parts off the tree, putting the parts together, reading, you know, all that, those basics of building models is part of this kit. Plus, you get to learn some cool science stuff along the way. I'll try to find a link to some of these, maybe on Amazon or something. If I do, I'll leave the link down in the description. So have any of you built this or seen this? Let me know down in the comments. I'd like to know what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I know it's not my normal video, but it was fun. And I appreciate you guys hanging out and watching the video. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, friends, everyone just be safe out there and go build something.